President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is present on the first day of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit or ASEAN Summit. Joining us live is Beatrice Penlac for the details on the activity of the President. Bey?
Neil, at a round-table meeting between Marcos and several business leaders in Cambodia early this morning, Marcos expressed belief that the route being taken by his administration is taking the Philippine economy in the right direction. He, however, pointed out that there are external forces which hamper the growth of the economy. But despite this, he took note of the recent report of the Philippine Statistics Authority, which showed that the unemployment rate stood at 5%, lower than the jobless Filipinos recorded in August. The president also said the Philippine economy, as measured by the gross domestic product, has grown by 7.6% during quarter 3 of this year. Marcos also called on Cambodian businesses to set their sights on possibly forging investments in the Philippines, which he said is on its way to recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. But he said he is not talking about the Philippine economy's recovery, but instead its transformation, as he noted that things are going to be different from everything that was done in 2019. The president also brought up the shortfall of homes in the country, which he said pushed his administration to pursue a very aggressive housing program that he admits is ambitious, but nevertheless, he said they will try very hard to achieve it. To note, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development earlier warned that if the Marcos administration's housing program does not receive its funding, the country's housing backlog may further worsen by 2028. Neil, the president also met with Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, where Marcos expressed interest in expanding relations between the Philippines and Vietnam across several areas such as defense, trade, investment, maritime security, and agriculture. The Vietnamese leader, for his part, congratulated the Philippines for its COVID-19 response and high GDP growth rate. Back to you, Neil.
Bea, I want to talk about the West Philippine Sea because this is a topic usually raised during the ASEAN Summit. So the president earlier expressed her hopes to discuss this issue with Chinese President Xi Jinping. So do we have any updates on this?
That's right, Neil. Marcos did say that during his flight to Cambodia last night. He said that this is something that he hopes to discuss with the Chinese president, considering that it's really impossible not to mention it when all the ASEAN leaders are going to be meeting for that summit. Among the things he said he hopes to discuss is establishing a code of conduct between the ASEAN and China. But as of now, Neil, wala pa tayong narinig na updates about that conversation that he promised.
Okay, Bey, we'll wait for updates on that. Another thing here is, ano yung mga activities that we're expecting of the president in the coming days there in ASEAN Summit, and what are in his priority list?
Neil, he's going to be in Cambodia until November 13. So there's a lot of time to meet with global leaders. Of course, a lot of conferences are set up for all of them to meet. But among the things that he mentioned he will plan to do as well is to meet with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and French President Emmanuel Macron, among many other leaders that he plans to meet. But in his priority list is really meeting the Filipino community, as he mentioned in an interview with reporters as well.
Okay, thanks, Bey. That's Beatrice Pinlac reporting live.